So divine protection in the seven rays. It's complicated, but it's not. You know what you're looking at when you're looking at protection. A lot of times we're thinking of people giving us the stink eye or somebody being aggressive, which is true. Like energetically, we have an impact from these kinds of situations that might affect us emotionally, but they really kind of impact our physiology. It's a way of stimulating a fight flight response or throwing the body into like a chaotic pattern of sorts. And even deeper, why somebody projecting negativity or being aggressive or violent towards you. Part of what happens is it throws off these rhythms in the body. And a lot of times the negativity that's projected is actually has a very short duration. Even if the person is grinding on it, it's still, all things considered, a short amount of time, unless there's a back and forth or an argument or something of that nature. But part of why it impacts us so much is the effect. And the effect is it throws our body into a fight flight mode. It throws off the somatic nerves, and it also can make the immune system hyper vigilant. But on a deeper level, there's these rhythms in the body that start to become chaotic or irregular. And these rhythms are associated with all the processes of the body. And so when somebody projects something like that, it can throw these rhythms off that eventually continues to manifest some sort of negativity that is far beyond what their projected thought or their nastiness was actually really trying to do. And so when we have these things, it's just not from these sources. We could have an accident, we could fall, we could twist our ankle, we could, get into a little fender bender in a parking lot, or something of this nature. I've even seen it happen with people when they get caught in really bad weather, really strong windstorms, really bad rainstorms, flash floods, hurricanes. Even though you're not in the hurricane, but being close to such a strong force can throw the body into a chaotic pattern. Not only that, but in situations where you're overstimulated or where mental processes, there's some sort of conflict, like a strong disagreement, or say you have opinions or ideas or concepts that you feel pretty solid about, and then either people, a group, or the news or situation really does something that is conflicting with this. That also is a kind of psychic attack. And even our negative thoughts, our repetitive negative thinking about ourselves, also this generates a kind of attack energy that the body perceives it as an attack, I should say. It's not that we're intending to attack ourselves, but just negative thinking, strong negative emotions, especially negative thinking that's done repetitively, has an impact on these rhythms and your nervous system, your immune system as well. And so what we're doing here is, for one, we're protecting the spine. When we interact with the environment, part of what we're doing with interacting with the environment is the environment, people, whatever it is projecting energy towards us, or we're putting our attention on things and energy is being drawn in and moving to the spinal cord, goes up to the brain, is processed, comes back down, and then is emanated out, either through actions, through words, through thoughts, through inaction. It doesn't really matter what it is, right? But there's an expression outward, right? And so this mechanism, this part of the spine, is a big source of conditioning. And so here what we're doing is we're undoing the mechanisms that got started in the ORC programming class, where we unwind the somatic programming, right? Here, it's not that you're unwinding this somatic programming, you're somaticizing soul energy. There's a big difference. One is you're undoing past thoughts, past conditioning, past whatever that might be. Here, you're somaticizing soul energy to your bones, you could say, like all the way down throughout your, releasing throughout your bottoms of your feet and to your bones. Like it hits just all your systems. And in doing so, there's a way of, once you kind of establish this pattern of building what you would call the pillar of light that they talk about in Kabbalistic and Buddhist practices. And this has a protective quality with how the different events in life come through and penetrate the nervous system, and then also how they're expressed. You could say transmutation happens almost instantaneously when this bridge has been worked for a period of time. And so here we're going to use the recipe for the 49 different aspects, and we'll apply different soul ray energy. You know, there's different kinds of energy as the soul or the Buddha nature like fragments into these different qualities, right? And so we're going to harness each of the qualities to heal very specific conditions and areas in the body, but we're also going to like protect energetically the spine so that when negativity, the car accident, the aggressive person, the whatever it might be, even the negative thinking in our head, it doesn't physicalize and cause the issues with the nervous system, with the immune system, and these rhythms in the body. And if you look at what Holy Master Djwhal Khul says, Holy Master Djwhal Khul, it is said, was one of the three wise men. And he gave Alice Bailey in the Theosophical Society many, many volumes through transmission that like just one of the books, it like really would take a lifetime to study. And there's like, I don't know, 25 or 30 of them. And, you know, they have all ranges of topics, but very deep mystical and theosophical, esoteric practices and information. And so he boils it down to the source of disease is lack of soul energy, like it's lack of soul contact in whatever area of the body that is having the issue. Like you might have soul contact, but say you have a degenerating shoulder because of injury, because of wear and tear, whatever it is. Part of why that area is not healing, right, is that there's lack of soul energy that is penetrating that part of the body. So we do things to remove blockages. We do things to improve function. We do things to refine the will aspects. We go through and we unwind the auric programming, right? All of this is moving towards a deeper level of healing. But when you start working with the soul rays and you work with the whole idea or concept that we've been laying forth, you're bringing soul energy to an area in the body where there is either a chronic health issue or disease, and you're unwinding it, you're preventing it, you're diminishing it. And even if there's karmic imagery or karmic predispositions for health issues in that area. And then also, you're spiritualizing your lower nature, which is the source of the chaos to begin with. Even when we have karmic imagery or a karmic issue, part of how that manifests is the chaotic nature of our lower self, of our lower nature. Like if it's super chaotic, the karma manifests very easily. If it's been organized, right, through these practices, or you know, whatever practice you do it with. But if this area has been organized, it's much harder for the karma to manifest. It's much harder for the karmic imagery to have an influence over your physiology, your emotions, and your mind. And it's much harder for the things that are in your environment or the things that happen to have a negative impact on your physiology, on your body, on your emotions, on your mind, and also your spiritual growth. So when we talk about divine protection, it's not just about protecting from the jerk at work or somebody giving you the stink eye. It is really kind of one of the big sources that causes our body to degenerate or to not heal, or that causes and accelerates disease. And so by going through and doing this, you're giving an extra set of tools to go through and unwind this so that the full spectrum of the aura is being treated. And so it should be a very interesting class. It's definitely tied to the whole foundation that we're laying out with all the different aspects of the aura. And yeah, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So